Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of January 4th, 2025. Here is hour one.
I don't know if you heard, but I'm sure that you did, that Communist China's app TikTok, well, everybody wants it banned throughout the United States. Well, they're looking for a buyer, and they think that TikTok is worth about $100 billion. So a lot of people are saying, like, how can we get our arms around this? So one person is Kevin O'Leary. You know him, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. And he says that he's more than ready to just swoop right in and get TikTok. So he has launched a crowdfunding campaign on Start Engine to make TikTok an American-owned company. He's calling it Mr. Wonderful's plan to buy TikTok. Now, he's not asking for your money just yet, just asking for investors to make a reservation. Now, think about this. We have 170 million Americans on TikTok. Say 100 million Americans want it in. So if you do the math, each of those 100 million Americans would have to contribute $1,000 so that they could all purchase TikTok for $100 billion. I'm telling you, that Mr. Wonderful is just brilliant. Yep, he's just brilliant, just like me. And on that happy note, welcome. You're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. Where you been? We're so glad that you're here. I'm, of course, Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. It's the biggest show. It's the best show. It's the most trusted show about all things digital. You can find me on over 420 top stations across the United States. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members. And I'd like to thank Oracle for helping to make this show possible. AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So you have to buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs just spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. You see, OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim, oracle.com/Kim. And I'd also like to thank LinkedIn. You know, LinkedIn is constantly finding ways to make the hiring process easier. They even just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn.com/Kim. All right, just for you, I check out at least 35, 40 different websites every single day to make sure that we're both up to date on what's going on in the tech world. And here are the top 5 things that you need to know that are happening right now. And number 1 is super serious. Now, if it's not clear by now that spies with ties to China are targeting the United States, listen to this. The NSA says that you need to shut down your phones, iPhones and Android, at least once a week. Every single week, do a complete reset of your phone. Okay, here's the reason why. Zero-click exploits. That's the fancy term for when attackers can eavesdrop and collect data from your phone without you doing anything. And it's become unavoidable. So the only way to curtail it is for you to turn your phone completely off and then turn it on again. Okay. The NSA also advises us to disable Bluetooth when we're not using it. Update your devices whenever a new iOS update is out. And when the NSA says all this, it's bad out there, folks. It's really, really bad. So, put a little reminder in your calendar once a week to just restart your phone. Moving on to number 2, drones. Imagine this. It's an emergency. You need help right away. You call 911. You explain the situation, but an officer doesn't show up. A drone does. Yes. It's happening right now in Colorado. The Denver police are rolling out a new drone program to respond to 911 calls all over the city. The drone can be flown obviously to an incident site, scope the area, and then live stream video back to the operator. So that means that the responding officers can get a really good picture of what's going on, even before they get there. And it's not just happening in Denver, also in New York City. And Amazon, speaking of drones, they just got the green light to deliver packages using drones beyond a visual line of sight, meaning that pretty soon we're going to look up in the sky, we're going to see packages just flying through the air. And don't even think about it. Skeet shooting for prizes is against the law. Moving on to number 3. Wow, AI and buses. What's going on there? Well, apparently there's a big problem, a shortage of school bus drivers, causing many students to arrive late to school. Now, the number of bus drivers has dropped over the last year about 15%. So what are schools doing? They're using AI. In Colorado Springs, School District 11 was in a real bind. They could afford to hire 110 bus drivers, but they could only find around 60. So that's when they called RouteWise AI. This AI looks at every available vehicle, buses, sedans, vans, and they figure out the most effective routes for the school. So now the district operates 55 bus routes. They have rideshare services. The software has saved the district over $500,000 in 1 year. They have a 50% reduction in bus routes. I mean, everything's just going so well thanks to the AI. Moving on to number 4, this is a very frightening story, but I'm begging you to watch your kids. Because if you've been putting off that conversation with your kids about stranger danger online, here's why you need to do it. This happened in Flowery Branch, Georgia. Zachary Iona started talking to his 15-year-old target on Snapchat. He convinced her to meet him at a home nearby. Now, when Iona showed up to the house, he had multiple rolls of duct tape, a rope, and a knife. He attacked the girl. He sexually assaulted this 15-year-old girl, and then he stabbed her 86 times. Wow. Left the girl for dead. With all the strength she could muster, she crawled to her phone for help. She told the police her story, and they were able to hunt down Iona using the girl's Snapchat account. He was sentenced to life in prison last week. Now, the girl, after tons of surgeries, she can finally walk again. She graduated high school. She says she's blessed to be alive. So think about this. Our kids are growing up with phones, tablets, computers, laptops. I mean, you just name it. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat just puts them in direct access to people who they trust, but also to a lot of weirdos. So you need to have that talk. I know you don't want to, but you have to have that talk. This coming in at number 5. Wow, when I was turned 16, I couldn't wait to drive. Well, some new research out from Market Watch Guide says only 25% of 16-year-olds have their driver's license. Okay, 1997, that was 43%. One mom told the New York Post that her son said, "I don't need to drive. You're going to drive me, or I'll just call an Uber." Wow. Speaking of, why couldn't the artist get a driver's license? Why couldn't the artist get a driver's license? He gave off a good impression, but couldn't make a Van Gogh. Oh, I know. Hey, listen, I got to tell you about a brand new sponsor, Here.com/Kim. I get notes all the time from folks of all ages experiencing hearing loss. Long gone are the days of clunky, obvious hearing aids. There's a new, better way. These innovative devices from Here.com are practically invisible, and they fit comfortably in or behind your ear. Their breakthrough German technology offers crystal clear speech understanding, Bluetooth, and they're even rechargeable with insurance, flexible financing options, and both telehealth and in-person care. Getting a pair of award-winning hearing aids has never been easier. Best of all, you can try it at no risk for 45 days. Are you ready to hear the difference? Join over 385,000 happy customers. Go to Here.com/Kim to get a free hearing evaluation. That's here.com/Kim, HEAR.com/Kim. All right, using the internet without an ExpressVPN is like checking in your baggage at the airport without a lock. You think that your stuff is kept private, but you just never know. So you can encrypt all your data with ExpressVPN and get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package at expressvpn.com/Kim. Hey, let's get started with Lynn in Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, I appreciate your taking the time to listen to me because I hope nobody else goes through the scam that I went through. I was on my laptop and I got this message, big black screen that said I was locked out. And then there was a Microsoft picture down below and it said to call the number there for service. Well, it turned out to be an entire scam. And they had somebody from my bank. They asked me for the customer service number on the back of my debit credit card.
Okay.
And they said they were going to call and explain to them that they needed to put some kind of fraud alert on
the card?
And yeah, on the bank statement.
Is this your debit card or credit card?
It's a debit card.
Okay. So on the debit card, they said we need to have the phone numbers because we have detected fraud. And,
Yes.
they're going to help you out, right?
Right. And they said they call me right back. I said, but I don't answer calls if I don't know the number. So they gave me a phone number that would call me back. And then somebody from the fraud department supposedly calls and says, somebody has just taken $8,200 out of your account. And somebody in your bank has been watching your account for every hour on the hour. And this is freaking me out. And they said that I would need to go to the bank, but not to talk to anybody because somebody in the bank was messing around. So I went and took the money out of the account, and I was a wreck because I thought, well, somebody's going to rob me.
Right.
And they wanted me to go to this Athena machine. Turned out to be a Bitcoin machine, and I deposited the money. And I said, this is crazy. I don't want to be buying Bitcoins. I was with my partner, and they said they needed the scan number. So he held it up, and boom, my money was gone. But everything it sounded so real. And I can't believe what these people do and how they hurt people. It's
horrible. It's horrible. How much did you lose?
$8,200.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, especially since I don't have any other money. I have been laid off so many times. I'm almost 79. I've been laid off so many times, not because I was a bad worker, but because of the times that we were going through. People were losing jobs left and right. And I didn't have a 401k, a retirement fund. And at one point, I was at a job long enough where I was able to buy a condo. And I'm grateful for that. But that $8,200 was really the result of my doing a little refi on my mortgage so that I'd have some money to do some home improvements. And now I feel like I need a job. I don't know what I'm going to do. Have you got suggestions?
It's hard. I mean, it's more than hard. It's devastating, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
I
you're 79. I mean, you don't want to go to work at Walmart, right? You don't.
Not really.
I mean, this isn't the way that you want to go out in blazing glory.
I've had back surgery and hip surgery. I can't stand for long periods.
Have you gone to the police, the FBI, anybody?
Yes, both.
Any help or no?
Police report.
You did? Okay, good.
I filed a police report and an FBI report, but they're not going to be able to come to my house and hand me the money. You're going to have to do a lot of investigating, and I'm sure they're doing plenty as it is before me.
Well, this happens far too often.
Absolutely.
And the police and the FBI, they're overwhelmed because a screen pops up. It looks like Microsoft. They're taking over your computer, and somehow they convince you to go to a Bitcoin machine. You're using your debit card, and then they can just go in there and they just wiped it out, which is what they did. So
it was so convincing. That's the part that gets me, that I couldn't see through this at the time. I was a nervous wreck.
And that's what they're hoping. They're preying on your emotion, and they're praying that they keep telling you got to do this now. You got to do this now. You better do this now, Lynn. Right?
And don't talk to anybody.
And that's where, if anybody's listening or watching right now, you need to know that this is a classic scam. You need to stop. Take a deep breath.
If you see something on your monitor, don't fall for it, like I did.
There are nonprofit organizations that offer financial aid to seniors. You sound like the person who doesn't want that, but I think you need to start looking at that. Programs like SNAP, government programs, you can get your internet access at a reduced rate. So instead of spending $100 a month, you're spending $50 a month. I think you have to look at all the resources that may be available to you. And,
I will.
And organizations like AARP, they have some resources listed on their website as well. Because, you're not alone. This is happening to far too many people. I mean, of course, you can get a job remotely if that's what you wanted to do, data entry, virtual assistants, customer service reps. But I think first, before you go there, I would look at what's available to you right now. Okay. So the $8,200, that was for you said home improvements. Is there anything like that's a standout that you're like, I got to get this fixed right now?
No, I can live the way things are. I'm paying for an air conditioner that I had installed 2 years ago. I've got a car payment, my mortgage, my insurance. So things are really, really tight.
Do you have Social Security coming in?
Yes.
You paying for Medicare?
$2,000 a month. Yes.
How much is social, you say? $2,700 a month?
No, $2,002.
Oh, okay. Let me do this, Lynn. How about if I send you $500 to help you out?
I would feel terrible taking your money. Oh, my gosh. I'm not looking for handouts.
I'm not giving you a handout. Okay, let me tell you something. If you were looking for a handout, I wouldn't have offered it. I have so many people that ask me for a handout. You have no idea.
Really?
Okay, and now that I'm giving you $500, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to get people all across the country saying, we gave Lynn $500. I'm in a bad spot. Would you like to give me $500? Okay.
That shouldn't. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So, but what I want
in a bad spot.
But I want to help you out because I could tell you're a good woman. You're a hardworking woman. You got taken. And,
yeah, I did.
And I'm sorry that this happened to you. But if I can give you a little bit to help you get you over the hump, that's all I'm doing. I'm getting you over the hump. Okay.
How can I repay you though? I want to be able to pay you back.
You don't need to pay me back. I call it random acts of kindness. If you know what, if you want to pay me back, here's how you're going to do it. Is you're going to let somebody on my staff interview you.
Okay. Yep.
And we're going to tell your story in a USA Today column.
What?
And
really?
So that, because I write for USA Today, I write two pieces for them a week. I write for the Daily Mail, Fox News, New York Post, all these other places.
Right.
Okay. But so maybe
I get your newsletter every week and I love it.
Well, thank you. So, but if we could tell your story, Lynn, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe other people won't fall for it next time. They'll think about it. They'll be like, oh, wait, I thought I remember something like this happened to this gal in Phoenix, Arizona. I remember that. Something happened with her. So I put you on hold. We're going to get all your information so we can send you out that money. And in return, we're going to put you to work. There ain't no free ride here. We're going to put you to work, Lynn, and you're going to help us write a story, and so that this way we can spread the word about this scam from a first-person perspective and help a whole bunch of more people. Lynn, thanks for your call today. Hey, if you're a business owner, you don't need me to tell you that running a business is super challenging. Well, right now, you can download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist absolutely free at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. There are storms everywhere, so that's why you need to prepare. And of course, you have emergency kit with the basics. You have water, food, maps, and even those handy moist towelettes. But there's more to put in there. I want you to add a battery-powered or a hand crank radio, ideally one with the NOAA weather radio feature, and also a tone alert. Now, the NOAA weather radio's tone quickly tells you about dangerous weather and emergency. It turns on the radio all by itself to make sure that you actually hear the warning. Next up, just get a better flashlight. Okay, look for one with multiple modes, including SOS signals, and it's powered by a hand crank. This way, you'll never be left without a light. And of course, your smartphone, it can be a real lifesaver. So I want to make sure that you have a good charger, a durable power bank, or better yet, a solar charger. It's a total game changer during power outages. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HomeTitleLock.com/Kim. That's HomeTitleLock.com/Kim. Hey, listener, you're just tired of dealing with annoying passwords? Every account needs a different one. Uppercase, lowercase, symbols, 12 or more characters. Let me tell you, NordPass ends the madness for good, so you can forget juggling dozens or even hundreds of passwords. You see, NordPass remembers and auto-fills them for you. And that's it. You're just going to love this. So let's say you go to a site, and instead of you trying to remember your password, NordPass steps in like magic and just auto-fills all your passwords. You're going to love this. And when you're buying something, it automatically fills in your credit card, your billing, your shipping details too. You see, NordPass uses the strongest military-grade encryption and offers email masking, password sharing, and even a solution for businesses. Now, let me tell you, I negotiated a special deal for you. Go to nordpass.com/Kim, and you're going to get 58% off today. Once again, that's nordpass.com/Kim. You really need to check this out. It's like $1.23 a month. It's an incredible bargain. Once again, that's nordpass.com/Kim. Hey, before we go back to all of your calls, have you ever wondered where those expensive Target and Walmart and Amazon returns, where do they really end up when you send the stuff back? Well, people are lining up everywhere in these strip malls across America to get their hands on what's called bin stores. And if you want in on the fun, I bet you there's a bin store in your area just ready to be picked. To find it, just go over to Google and type in a phrase like bin stores near me, Amazon return stores near me. And you have to remember, it's an adventure. You may not know what you're getting inside that bin. But if you do find something electronic, make sure that you plug it in and you try it out, because normally there are no returns at a returns bin store. All right, let's see. Brad in Orlando, Florida, glad to have you with us.
Well, we've got a 13-year-old granddaughter that we are legal guardians for, and we're wanting to get her a phone. But we want to have as much control over that phone as possible. She gets plenty of access to things on her iPad and her laptop that we aren't too crazy about, and we're kind of cutting back on that. Mm-hmm. But we looked at a Bark phone because that allows us to say this is who you can talk to and this is who you can't, and that sort of thing. But we're looking for the best recommendations that you might have for something like that.
What kind of phone do you have, and what your wife?
We both have iPhones.
Okay. You got different options. Bark is a pretty darn good phone. Mm-hmm. And it comes loaded with the app. You're going to pay a monthly fee, of course, for the service.
Sure.
What I like about it is that when you give it to your granddaughter, she's not going to be like, ew, what is this? You know, she's still going to do that anyway because it's not an iPhone. Let's just face facts. Okay.
Sure.
But it's not going to look like a gross phone that she's going to get made fun of. Okay.
Right.
This way you can monitor the text, the emails, social media. They were a sponsor in our newsletter a couple of months back, and I don't know if they're coming back or not. But you know, I had the opportunity to really take a good look at it, and I also gave a Bark phone to a friend of mine who is very Catholic. Him and his wife, very religious, very strict parents of 6 kids between the ages of 1 and 14. Okay. And so I gave him the Bark phone. I said, you know, and by the way, none of the kids have their own phones. None of the kids have their own tablets or laptops.
Right.
Okay. They have a family computer that they use. Okay.
Well, that's kind of our situation, too. And currently my wife and my granddaughter share a phone. So my wife can see some of the things that are going on her phone.
But, she's 13. She's going to want her own phone,
Right.
But you do get the monitor. You get alerts for any content. It will filter the website. It's designed with parents in control, parental control. Now, it's going to be more expensive than the monthly plan than, say, an iPhone. Now, with an iPhone, it does have built-in parental controls. You can set app limits. You can control who she can talk to. What is nice is that you're going to have Find My, so that you and your wife and everybody can see her exact location. And it just makes it easier to communicate. I'm not saying it's not going to be impossible with the Bark phone, but it really depends upon the child. And you said something like she's already doing stuff that we don't want, so I'm probably not going to give her an iPhone because we're going to clamp it down. And then when she gets old enough and responsible enough, that's when we can talk about an iPhone. So, you also have Google Family Link if you're on Android. Kind of works just like iPhone screen controls. There are other phones, like a pinwheel phone, and there's something called the Light phone. The Light phone is the phone that, remember the gentleman I was telling you about? Okay, that's the phone. That's the phone he's going to get his daughter, but she's not going to get it until she's 18. Okay,
okay.
That's what I'm saying. So, but with the Light phone is that there's no internet access at all, none.
Okay. Well, my granddaughter does she likes to listen to her music on Spotify, and she likes to take pictures and be able to share them with friends. Can she do that on a Bark phone?
Yes, she can do that.
Phone?
Yes, she can do that. So, I would say, I'd say probably get her the Bark phone. I'd get her the Bark phone. Again, they're not a sponsor. They used to be. I don't get any kickbacks or residuals or anything like that. I think it's a darn good phone for the purpose that you're looking at, 100%. Maybe there's, might want to try promo code Kim. Sometimes they leave those up. You might be able to save some money along the way. But take a look at it. And then as she gets older, she gets more responsible. And take a look at an iPhone. But don't forget, over at the website at komando.com/contract. That's komando.com/contract. That's our tech contract for kids. Kind of goes through the rules of the road, not just with laptops and Chromebooks and tablets and Xboxes and PlayStations and Switches, but it also goes through the phone. So again, that's free. I would have her sign that. Komando.com/contract, komando.com/contract. Brad, thanks for your call today. All right, let's switch gears. Privacy is not a luxury or a privilege. It's a human right. But some companies will happily violate your privacy to turn a profit by selling your personal information to anyone who's willing to pay. Now, this is one of the devious ways that spammers and scammers get your contact and other info. Just search for yourself online, and you're going to find data brokers selling your personal data. Now, think about this. Just about anyone can pay for a cheap trial membership and just get a full report on you. I'm talking about stalkers, identity thieves, and hackers. They already know this, and guess what? So do advertisers. That's why you need to stop the robocallers and spammers before they can add you to their spam list. Incogni can help by removing your personal information from hundreds and hundreds of commercial databases. Right now, Incogni has a special offer just for you listeners. That's right. Komando listeners, remove yourself off of the internet with 60% off at privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com for my deal with Incogni. And let me tell you, I don't get any more spam phone calls, no more spam texts. I'm out of 212 commercial databases. Wow. That's right. You get 60% off right now at privacykim.com. All right. So if you use a computer at work, what do you think that your boss can see that you're doing? Okay. Maybe sometimes you sneak in a little action at Facebook, you do some online shopping. Maybe you're even looking for a new job at the office. Okay. What about your personal phone? What can they see there? Now, if it's connected to the office Wi-Fi, let me tell you, they can pretty much see anything. Now, if you're working from home on a work laptop, you're still not off the hook because even if you are at home, if the work laptop connects to the company network, your online activity may still be visible. Plus, some company-provided laptops, they'll put in these secret keyloggers. So this way they see every single thing that you do. So what do you do if you want to keep your browsing private? Use common sense. Avoid using work Wi-Fi for personal browsing. No online shopping, no job searching, no gaming. Just do your work. Yeah, that's it. Hey, listen, we're not getting any younger, but you can bring back your natural radiance with Native Path Collagen. It's scientifically backed to increase bone mineral density, support tissue recovery, reduce wrinkles, enhance hair thickness, and strengthen weak or damaged nails. Now, you can get 45% off and free shipping at getnativepath.com/Kim. Once again, that's getnativepath.com/Kim. Now, before we go back to your phone calls, I just want to say one thing. I know it must be confusing because we're giving out so many different web addresses for our sponsors. I mean, there's Privacy Kim, there's netsuite.com/Kim, there's tmobile.com/55. And I know you're sitting there going, oh, what is the address for that special deal, Kim Komando? So that's why we put together a very special page for you at komando.com. That's komando.com/sponsors, komando.com/sponsors. And we really appreciate anything that you can do to support our sponsors because, we're not part of a big network. We're not part of Westwood and Cumulus and Odyssey or anything like that, iHeart. No, this is a standalone show. Okay, it's just us. So again, that address is komando.com/sponsors. All right, then. Kathleen in Houston, Texas. Hi there, Kathleen.
Well, I called because I was interested in different ways to make some income. My husband's getting ready to retire, and so I need to find something I can do at home. And one of the ideas that I came upon was narrating audiobooks, which that sounds very interesting to me. But my concern is with so many of these job sites, I don't want to fall prey to a scam or I'm paying for a program to teach me how to find a job getting audiobooks, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
How to weed out what's legitimate and what's not. And that's why I'm calling.
Well, because you know what? Anytime you type in anything on the internet to say make money, the scammers are like going, yeah, we got her.
Exactly. Yes.
We have it. So do you have anything you can read? I want to hear you read.
Oh, okay. You caught me by surprise. Yes, I've got something here. Now, this is just from a book off my shelf. It's just about money things. And it says, okay, this is about FAFSA. One critical warning for parents as you consider your college savings balances, be careful not to give all your money to your kids. Financial advisors tell me they are astonished at how much money moms and dads are giving their grown children. After all, your kids can borrow for their education.
Okay. That's
you can't
enough.
borrow.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. First of all, you're going too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Second of all, we need you to talk like you mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, after all, instead of after all. So it's it's tone, it's inflection, it's you'll be amazed at how different you read when you smile.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever watched me do the show, you'll see I smile the whole time, and people are like, "Why are you smiling?" And if you watch me do the podcast, I'm smiling the whole time because your voice is brighter. And you're more engaged. And when the only thing that you have to keep somebody attuned to you are their two ears, because they can't see you.
Right.
That's where it's like, there's an art to this. I mean, so many people will come to me and say, you know what, I could do what you do, Kim Komando. I could do that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, because I know a lot about tech. Well, you probably could. And you probably know more about tech than I do. But you don't know how to talk to people. Okay.
True.
Yeah. And learning what I do and what you're about to do, it's truly an art. And and the thing that is a discourager to me in the voiceover industry is the use of AI and voices.
Yes.
And so many of these audiobooks, I saw some stat like 40% over the next 2 years is going to be by AI. So many of these audiobooks are going to be done by AI voices because they can do it quicker and easier. But I will tell you that I've spent almost $5,000-$6,000 to replicate my voice because quite frankly, I was thinking about this, Kathleen. Imagine if I didn't have to do the daily tech update every day. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine if I didn't have to do the digital life hack every day. Love that. How about if anything that I write could be turned into a podcast? Whoa.
Yes, I see. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, then I could go to Maui. Yes. Okay. So I spent all this money, and it came back that in order if I wanted to do this, I have to spend more money.
Right.
Okay, but this is the interesting part. It wouldn't be. We would have to hire somebody else to read whatever I wanted them to read. And then their voice would be replaced by an AI voice.
Wow.
Okay. So that's where you may find your niche is that you're reading what AI is they're going to put somebody else's voice on. Just put that in the back of your head. Okay. Okay. So now where do you go? Okay. First of all, you need to have a demo reel. Okay. Your best bet is for you to listen to a few audiobooks and really concentrate and listen, not for what they're saying, but how they're saying it, how they are delivering it, and to practice. And to practice. I mean, you can take courses on LinkedIn. You can take courses on Udemy, Coursera, okay, and even Masterworks, where you can pick up some tips along the way. And there's nothing like practicing audio narration by watching yourself do it with a mirror in front of you.
Oh, okay.
Because then you see what you're looking at. And when you don't have the mirror, then you can replicate that.
Gotcha.
So
makes sense.
So you go to like voices.com. There's also Findaway Voices. And then there's something called ACX. ACX is the Audiobook Creation Exchange. That's where we'll connect a publisher with you, an author with you, and vice versa. Okay. So with all that, that's where you can get started. And then when you get started, I want you to call me back.
Okay.
Okay. Don't be a stranger. Promise.
Okay.
I'm not going to bite. Okay. But I want to hear how you're doing and what objections that you've run into. It's not an easy venture, because I'm telling you, a lot of people think like, oh, I'm just going to sit at home and I'm going to get a microphone and I'm going to do audiobooks and I'm going to make a lot of money. No, it doesn't work that way. Like anything else, it takes a lot of work, a lot of practice, and you got to be great at what you do. And, Kathleen, you do have a nice tone. You do. You have a pleasant voice. I would encourage you to pursue this. And again, if you need help along the way, just give me a shout back. Speaking of audiobooks, I have to tell you, my husband let me listen to his audiobook the other night, but I accidentally deleted it halfway through. Whew, I'm telling you now, I'm never going to hear the end of that. Oh, I know. That was a funny one. Just crack myself up. Hey, listen, if you're not already getting our podcasts, oh my gosh, my dear, why are you not doing that? We've got a whole bunch of podcasts. Like, for example, the Kim Komando Show that you're listening to right now. You can get that as a commercial-free podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Then we also have Kim Komando Today. That's our fun podcast. It happens live 3 days a week over at youtube.com/Kim Komando. You can watch it on demand, or you can just watch it live. Love that. But you also get it as an audio podcast. And so wherever you get your podcast, search for Komando with a K, of course. All right, so you've heard of mystery shoppers, but how about mystery diners? Yeah, it's a real thing. I mean, you can eat out at restaurants for free. Sites like iSpy CC, Market Force, and Second to None, they recruit everyday folks to dine at restaurants and then give them detailed feedback. So here's how it works. You receive an assignment via email, includes a gift certificate to the restaurant. That's how you're going to pay for your meal. And then while you're there, you need to snap photos, and then you make notes about all the food and the service, and you complete a questionnaire afterwards about the entire experience. Now, let me tell you, the more expensive the meal, the longer the follow-up report will probably be. So if you're interested in trying this out, you can apply right now at ispycc.com, Market Force, or secondtonone.com. If you're like, oh, I just missed all that, just search the website, komando.com.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana.
Thanks for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 2.
Okay, this is an amazing story. A Ferrari F8 valued at $575,000. Okay, obviously a supercar, was stolen, but it was retrieved because of AirPods What? How did this go down? Okay, thieves took the hot rod in Greenwich, Connecticut, but the owner had left a pair of AirPods inside. The police tracked the stolen ride with Find My down to a gas station, but the driver took off. So here's a bit of irony. It turns out the thief left his iPhone behind, which made it easy for the police to come find him. Okay. Find my thieves, find my stuff. Hey, I hope you're ready, folks, because today it's all about tech, and I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know to stay tech ahead, because after all, I don't want you left tech behind in the digital dust, because I'm Kim Komando, and it's my job to do that. And you have just found the biggest show, the best show, the most trusted show about all things digital. You can find me on over 420 top stations across the United States. I'm in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando, with a K, of course. And you can now get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast. That's right. Just search for Komando in your favorite podcast player. And a special shout out goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, talking about all the servicemen and women in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force who are listening to us right now. And great sponsors help to make this show possible, and I always negotiate the best deals. And in case you're looking for the promo codes and the links, there's only one place you need to go, komando.com/sponsors. That's komando.com/sponsors. I'd like to thank Oracle for helping to make this show possible. Even if you think it's a bit overhyped, AI is suddenly everywhere, from self-driving cars to molecular medicine to business efficiency. If it's not in your industry yet, it is coming fast. But AI needs a lot of speed and computing power. So how do you compete without the cost just spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a blazing fast and secure platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, plus all your AI and machine learning workloads. OCI costs 50% less for computing and 80% less for networking. So you're just going to save a pile of money. Thousands of businesses have already upgraded to OCI, including MGM Resorts, Specialized Bikes, and Fireworks AI. Right now, Oracle is offering to cut your current cloud bill in half if you move to OCI. For new U.S. customers with minimum financial commitment, offer ends December 31st, 2024, and you can see if your company qualifies with this special offer at oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim. Every single day, weekends, national holidays, of course, during the week, I go over to at least 35 different sources to make sure that we know what's going on in the tech world. And here are the top 5 things that you need to know right now. And we're going to start with that our younger social media generation has discovered Adolf Hitler. Yes, you heard me right, Adolf Hitler. In November, a young TikTok user with only a few hundred followers posted a video of herself reading portions of Osama bin Laden's letter to America, where he justified the 9/11 attacks, killing more than 3,000 Americans. That video went viral. And now another TikTok young user has posted an edited, colorized version of one of Adolf Hitler's speeches. AI translated Hitler's voice to English. And there are so many of these that are floating online. You need to talk to your kids about this. Here, take a listen.
My work, you think is right. Whether you believe that I have been diligent, that I have worked hard, that I have consistently advocated for you in these past years, and that I have conducted myself with decency, I have devoted my time in the service of my people's welfare. Please cast your vote now.
Okay, it goes on. And you can watch it on YouTube if you want. Just go ahead and search for it. But the really disturbing part of this for me is that these videos are receiving millions of views. Millions of views. And a large number of them are positive and sympathetic as far as the comments. So many say that Adolf Hitler sounds reasonable. Did he really do what he did? I don't believe it. Okay, wow. A false revision of history is very, very dangerous. Moving on to number 2, have you used a chat bot and got advice on your mental health, medical issues, or relationships? A lot of folks are doing this, but you need to stop. A story in The Atlantic revealed a man's chat with ChatGPT was included in a research data set called Wild Chat. The man from Washington was talking about his struggling marriage, typing things like, "I'm depressed, I'm going crazy, I still love her, and I want to win her back." And he shared all these intimate details, thinking they were going to be private, but guess what? They were not. So isn't ChatGPT supposed to be private? Not really. OpenAI says they don't share your conversations unless required by law. But if you sign away your rights by not reading the terms and conditions, companies can still use that data to train AI, and we don't know where that ends up. Moving on to number 3, when is 5G really 5G? The Washington Post had a great story out this past week that even though your phone may say 5G, it's a reminder that you may only be getting LTE or even 4G service. So how can you tell if you're really getting 5G? Now, on T-Mobile, it's going to show up as 5G UC. AT&T displays 5G in the letter E. On Verizon, it's 5G in the letters UW. So why would a 5G icon appear when it's not really 5G? It's the way that the network has been configured. But the network can supply 5G, so you're not really being misled. Moving on to number 4. Oh my gosh, I hate going to the dentist, but that's how I have to keep these pearly whites. And so when I got this story, I was like, I need to tell my friends about this. Micro robots. These are tiny iron oxide particles that look like a toothbrush, a floss, and a mouthwash, and little tiny things that you're going to put in your mouth. This is where the future's coming. They're going to clean your teeth better than an electric toothbrush. And you just put it in your mouth. They're going to go all around, all around, all around, all around. Then there's oral bacteria transplants. They found someone who doesn't floss or go to the dentist but still has perfect teeth. Their mouth bacteria might prevent decay. So scientists are figuring out how to transfer this bacteria to somebody else within the next year. Next up is red light therapy, a tooth implant that uses chewing to power this light, which kills bacteria and protects your gums. No batteries, just have to chew. And finally, a new drug that could help you actually grow new teeth. Yes, it blocks a protein called USAG1. It's already worked on mice, helping them regrow missing teeth. Human trials are next, and then they're going to win a ton of awards, and then they're going to get a little plaque. Ooh, ouch. Finally, this coming in at number 5. How much do you really spend on your phone? How much time? How much time do you spend on your phone? For most people, it's about 4 hours and 37 minutes a day. Whoa, 6 days a month, lost to scrolling. So that's why these screen time management apps are becoming really popular. One that I saw recently is called ClearSpace. If you're trying to check Facebook Marketplace, you have to complete a quick breathing exercise, and then you set time limits. And when your time is up, ClearSpace gives you a nudge to say, you know what, that's enough. You need to take a break. It even gets more intense. They're testing a new feature that shows how much time your friends are spending on their phones, broken down by apps. Wow. So if you're curious how much time your friend Johnny is spending on TikTok, you can find that out. They're hoping that that's frightening or probably more embarrassing of a fact that you might be sharing with somebody to just put that device down. Hey, listener, you're just tired of dealing with annoying passwords? Every account needs a different one. Uppercase, lowercase, symbols, 12 or more characters. Let me tell you, NordPass ends the madness for good, so you can forget juggling dozens or even hundreds of passwords. You see, NordPass remembers and auto-fills them for you. And that's it. You're just going to love this. So let's say you go to a site, and instead of you trying to remember your password, NordPass steps in like magic and just auto-fills all your passwords. You're going to love this. And when you're buying something, it automatically fills in your credit card, your billing, your shipping details too. You see, NordPass uses the strongest military-grade encryption and offers email masking, password sharing, and even a solution for businesses. Now, let me tell you, I negotiated a special deal for you. Go to nordpass.com/Kim, and you're going to get 58% off today. Once again, that's nordpass.com/Kim. You really need to check this out. It's like $1.23 a month. It's an incredible bargain. Once again, that's nordpass.com/Kim. All right, we're not getting any younger. That's why you need to add collagen to your diet. It's just a powerhouse. All right, let's see. How about we start with Rosemary in Naples, Florida. Happy to have you with us. Hi there.
Hi, Kim. How are you today?
I'm great. How can I help you?
A couple of weeks ago, you mentioned how to, when you're going through TSA, how to block the camera so they didn't take a digital picture of you. And the next day I was traveling, and I was like, well, why do I want to do that? Why wouldn't I want TSA to have my picture, knowing that they probably have it from my application, passport has it, things like that?
Well, some people are really into privacy. And even though like you said, TSA, they have your photos. And of course, there's so much biometric and facial recognition that's happening as you even walk through the airport. I mean, I'm sure you realize this. Those big, long hallways are not just big, long hallways getting you from one place to another. Those big, long hallways are so that this way they can do some instant facial recognition in the airports, right? They can see who's exactly getting off the plane, entering their country. Of course, we do need the big, long hallways, but there's a lot of tech that's happening in those hallways. But a certain number of people who subscribe to the newsletter, they get the show and the podcast, is that they're really concerned about privacy. So that's why I throw in those tips every once in a while, because with TSA, they use what's called advanced imaging technology. I mean, you know this, right? I mean, they take the image of your body for security reasons. Now, TSA has stated that the images that are taken during screens are not saved or stored, that they are deleted automatically. But as I mentioned, there's a certain number of folks that rely on me to tell them things that they may not know. That when you go so that when you go to TSA and they say, here, put your face in front of this biometric scanner, that you can say, no, I really don't want to, and then you don't have to. Okay. Now, as far as what I do, I mean, the last thing I want to do is fight with a TSA agent. I mean, a lot of them are great. And I mean, would you want that job, Rosemary?
Not in the least. Absolutely not. No.
No, I would not want that job. So, and so anytime I look at, somebody who's in that position, I just, I'm always, of course, we're always courteous. We're nice, thankful for them to do the job. And then hopefully you'll get that consideration back. You don't always, right?
Right.
I mean,
no, they were great when I went up recently, as I said, and I hesitated. Should I block my face? In the end, I let them do it because I thought it was easier than pulling my ID out. I'm always, you're going through those TSA lines and they got you grabbing things left and right, and you're always so afraid you're going to lose something at that moment.
Yeah, for sure. And you're going to put something, down, and somebody else is going to pick it up on the other end, right?
Yeah. And so even just dropping something at that point, because you're moving stuff and all that. So I was like, I like this thing. Where is the risk of letting them take your biometrics?
They have it all. I don't. They have it all. Hey, did you hear about the new Gen Zer trend that's going through TSA? Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. So just imagine you're getting on that plane that you just got on the other day, right? Okay. The lines are so long, and people are already rushed to get through these lines. But in front of you, Rosemary, I want you to picture, in front of you is a Gen Zer who gets that bin, and they take off their watch, they take off their, get their phone out of their pocket, the scarf, the hat, whatever they have, and they neatly arrange it in that bin so all the logos are facing up, Rosemary. So if it's a Yves Saint Laurent bag, it's going to have that logo. If it's going to be an iPhone, we're going to see that. You follow me, the whole dress. Okay. So now you're just waiting behind them. Okay. And they are meticulously arranging everything in that bin. Then they stand back and they take about 20 pictures of it.
And you're behind them.
Yeah. So that this way they can put that on social for credit. For social, credit. And then they can ask all of their friends, do you think I packed too much? Okay. So I would have less patience with them than the TSA agents, that's for sure. So in case you're wondering and you're traveling and you start seeing a whole bunch of Gen Zers doing exactly what I said, now it's a social media viral trend. All right. I'm so excited. I started something new with the show because innovate to evaporate, and that's voice memos. That's when you can make a voice memo with your phone and then just email it to me. And then I'm going to play it here on the show and just answer it. So again, just send a voice memo to me with your question to podcasts@komando.com. That's podcasts@komando.com. So I got this one the other day from a very nice man with a quick question.
You recommended Libre a little while ago. I have Word, Microsoft Word, and I have over 1,000 saved Word files, Bible studies that I don't want to lose. Can I still access those through Libre? Thank you.
Okay, if you don't know, LibreOffice is a free open source office suite. It directly competes against the paid version of Microsoft Office. So you get Writer, which is Microsoft Word, Calc, Excel, Impress is PowerPoint, Draw is this graphics editor, as you might expect. Base is a database program, and Math, well, it's for math formulas. So LibreOffice is available for free on a lot of platforms, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. So if you have some Microsoft Word docs and you're trying to bring them into LibreOffice, really easy to do. Just go to File and then Open, find your Microsoft Office documents, select it, and then you open it, and then it's just there right on the screen. It's really super easy to do. And let me tell you, it's totally compatible. You're not going to lose a lot of formatting either. So again, it's just under File and then Open. Now, if you want to send me your voice memo, and thank you, sir, for doing that, just go ahead and record it with your phone and then send it to podcasts@komando.com. And I listen to every single one. But here's the deal. Give me your name and where you're calling from, because I'd love to know that. Once again, record your voice memo and then send it to me at podcasts@komando.com.
Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
And before we get to more of your phone calls and that, let's talk about your sleep score, because your smartwatch tracks your workouts, your steps, and it even follows you to bed to make sure that you're sleeping well. Well, is it really doing that? So many of us rely on our smartwatches for this, but it cannot accurately tell you if you're sleeping well. For that, it would really need to have a whole bunch more tech. Like, it would have to analyze your brain waves, not exactly something on your wrist that can do that. So how can you get good sleep? It's not just by tracking it. That practice, research says, might even be causing more anxiety and make your sleep cycle worse. So what do you want to do? Keep your bedroom dark and quiet and cool, and stick to a consistent sleep schedule, even on the weekends. You want to avoid your electronics right before bed. I know, very hard to do, even for me. And that means turning off the television too. It's tough. Let's see. Back to the phones we go. Lena in Newark, New Jersey. Glad to have you with us.
I've been up under attack for several years now. I just can't figure out how to get up out of this. They have gone through my contact list. So although that I changed my phone number and other devices, they are able to circumvent and capture my information all over again. When I say tracking, I'm talking about to the extreme, where they set up the blue link on my vehicle and monitoring my comings and goings and my location at all times to break it into my home. I'm talking about from my son's device, girlfriends, friends, and family devices. Is there any way for me to get around this? How would I pursue this legally?
So who do you think it is?
It's my ex-husband, and he's working with a lady that works for Apple IT support. So she is very savvy into backdooring into systems.
But now he's into the kid stuff, and you mentioned your car?
Yes, Blue Link, yes. They activated account for Blue Link on my own vehicle. I wasn't aware.
It's actually, it's Lena, it's Bluetooth, just to let you know. Just Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Something prompted me. I read your article. I said, let me look into this. And I did some investigation, and I called them. They verified, yes, it was activated. To my surprise, I'm always trying to figure out how are they keeping up with my whereabouts, and that was one of the resources they were using.
So did you go to the police?
I've been to the police. I done filled out several reports. FTC, I even tried to get a restraining order with the judge, in Union County, New Jersey. No luck with that. It's been ongoing for years. And each time that I reach out and make an effort into slowing them down or getting some type of help, some type of recourse, they come back even heavier next time. So it may be a price for me to pay even just by speaking to you guys on this line here.
I'm sorry to hear that, Lena. That's got to be gut-wrenching and hard to sleep at night if all this is going on, right?
It is. It is very much so.
So why do you think he can't move on?
I don't know. This is a person.
Why is he doing this?
This is a personal vendetta. And part of the reason why I sold my home, but he wasn't there when I purchased the home, and there was no proceeds for him at the end of the day. You know, I don't care what's the reason why, but you don't attack other people. I have family and friends that work for the government, the state, and Homeland Security, compromising their devices. So if you want to direct it at me, that's fine. But when you start going those routes and affecting other people's devices, which affect their work, then we got a problem.
So what are give me like just one or two concrete examples where you're like, okay, yeah, this is happening.
Okay. For one, when I start my phone, I always get the no service, and then it kicks in. Right there is a clear indication. You hear clicking on the background. You know, when I'm speaking to people on the phone, you can hear like somebody's clicking in. That's another source. Looking at my device, my son I bought a new tablet. He was setting it up. He had his phone setting next to the tablet at the time of setup. So when he went back in to put the password in, it would not accept it. He's looking strange, like, you know, I know this is what I entered, but he had to redo it again. And I'm telling him it was his device that's being compromised. If you take your phone and lay it next to a tablet, they're able to scan for the IP address. He had his Bluetooth on at that particular time. Information was captured, wasn't able to get into the system. It locks me out. This is let me just say this. Mortgage, they compromised my information. So they have my Social Security number. They have all that information. They submitted an unemployment claim in my name, attempt to get a mortgage 3 times in my name. They have closed out one of account that I had set up, which was a gold account. They gain access to that, and I can no longer access that. I mean, even down to changing a bank PIN number, so I wasn't able to use my debit card. I mean, this is extensive. What I've been going through.
You've got a lot. You know, I think you've got to take this to a higher level.
Yes, I do.
I mean, this Cyber Civil Rights Initiative, which is at it's at cybercivilrights.org, just at cybercivilrights.org, okay? But I think, Lena, you need to go see a lawyer who specializes in family law and stalking and harassment.
Okay.
Because somehow you need to get some legal action going against these folks who are causing you to live in a living hell, right?
Yeah.
The number is 844-878-2274. Okay. Or you can go online to cybercivilrights.org. Once again, that's cybercivilrights.org. But I really think that there's more things that you need to be doing, like to consult with that lawyer, somebody who specializes in stalking and harassment and family law and can get you the right information to the right hands so that this way there may be some legal action that may be taken against these folks. Now, we do have a friend of the show. His name is Rico Danielson. And this is what Rico does for a living, not just for individuals, but for major corporations. Now, I'm not sure what he charges, but you can check out his web address at ricohd.us. Again, Rico Danielson at ricohd.us. And Lena, if there's anything else that I can lend a hand to, I'm here for you. You know, during the holidays when there's so much to do and we're moving quickly to get it all done, it's super easy to make a mistake and just hand over your personal data without even realizing it. That's why it's important to visit privacykim.com for my deal with Incogni to remove yourself from the internet. That's privacykim.com. You're going to get 60% off. And let me tell you, I get no more spammy phone calls since I did. Incogni is fabulous. You want to go to privacykim.com for this deal. Privacykim.com. All right, you want some cash and you have some opinions. Well, all you need is a phone, a Google account, and an app. With the holidays right around the corner, I thought maybe you might want to have some extra money, grab some freebies, and it's super easy. Just download the Google Opinion Rewards app. Again, that's the Google Opinion Rewards app. It's on iOS and Android. And every so often, Google's going to send you a short survey. No long, boring questions, just really quick ones like, did you visit the store? Did you see this ad? A couple of questions and you're done. Now, if you're on Android, you're going to earn Google Play credits for movies, apps, games, and maybe even YouTube Premium. If you're on iPhone, you're going to get paid through PayPal. So how much money can you make? All right, let me give the spoiler first. It's not enough to pay your rent. I can tell you that. You're just going to make a few bucks, maybe even just a few cents per survey. But if you're just sitting there doing nothing else, hey, you might as well check it out. It's at Google Opinion Rewards. It's the Google Opinion Rewards app. David in Portland, Maine. Glad to have you with us. Hi there, David.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
We have sort of a family compound. There's 3 cottages, sleeping cabin, garage, boathouse, all on like 4 or 5 acres on the lake. And we've got Starlink now, which has been great. They're putting fiber on the road. There's about 10 miles of fiber coming in. So in another month or two, hopefully we'll be hooked up to that. But I have a mesh network that is sort of marginal, and I wanted to give you a shout and see whether you had any better suggestions. Something we put in 4 or 5 years ago. I think it's TP-Link EAP 225.
And then, so what is it? What does it not do, or what is it doing that you don't like?
Well, the biggest thing you notice is it'll work fine for a week, and then it shows disconnects and isolated nodes. It's definitely slower than the Starlink connection. If I connect directly to the Starlink Wi-Fi, it's 2 or 3 times as fast. So I'd like to get faster, especially since we're getting the fiber. But also the disconnects that we're on 4 or 5 acres. There's a lot of trees.
That's right. I was just going to ask you, how far apart are the buildings?
Most of them within 100 or 200 feet, but there's a couple that are out, 300 or 400 feet. In one case, in order to make it work with the existing system, I mounted a birdhouse on a tree and ran power out to it with a underground cable. And mounted one of the mesh network units out there. So it is a distance problem. So I don't know.
Well, I think what I would recommend is, and I've used this myself. There's a company by the name of Ubiquiti, UBIQUITI, Ubiquiti. And if you search my website with that word, I bet you will see the solution that I put together. What happened was I was building a house, okay? And believe it or not, I'm in central Phoenix and there was no coax cable coming to this house, okay? Like, what? It's such a big city. And Starlink, guess what, was not available yet at that address. So, and knowing that you could get a cellular security camera, I didn't want to do that because I want to put security cameras all around. And I didn't want to rely on LTE or 4G, whatever it may be, right? So I had a buddy of mine who had a house, I have a buddy whose house was lying from bird's sight view. I could see his house, but a canyon separated us, and he was 1,800 feet away. So I had to get his internet connection over to my house. Okay. So what Ubiquiti does is they basically, without getting overly technical, is that his house, he put a dish, And in my house, I put a receiver. And I had a beautiful internet connection that worked flawlessly. It's really made to do like point-to-point connections, so you could do building-to-building bridges, and it can shoot signals directly between buildings. Fully customizable, very reliable. Now, of course, there's always a downside. Okay, what's the downside? Downside is this can get pretty expensive. But
yeah, I figured that might be happening.
Okay,
but that's
yeah, I mean,
okay.
you're probably looking at $100 per access point. But
that's not terrible.
Yeah. So, but if you're looking for, then you need like some of the boxes that go with it. But if you're looking for a solution, which you have going over 3 to 4 acres with all these different cabins and sleeping quarters, as you mentioned, and it was just a beautiful place on the lake. You didn't even invite me. It sounded so nice. I would have loved to have come. No, is that you want to take a look at this Ubiquiti again? It's Ubiquiti Unify System. It's when really, folks, when you have this type of setup and the mesh network just isn't quite doing it, you want to take a look at a different solution. And if you want to see some photos exactly of what we had set up, again, just search for Ubiquiti over at komando.com with a K, of course. Jeff in Casper, Wyoming. Hello there, Jeff.
Well, I have got an iMac, and I don't do much browsing on the internet, maybe 4 or 5 news sites that I look at. And I'm getting on these news sites some ads that pop up, and they are very extremely intimate, women's clothing and other items that I really can't talk about. But they show back up on, several of the websites. They're just regular ads. So I've got a VPN on my computer. I blocked my cookies, doesn't do any good. I'm just looking for a way to be able to stop these ads because they don't apply to me. I've never searched for anything, even remotely near this.
Yeah, unfortunately, the ad networks, they may assume that you might be interested in something like that. And a lot of these ads, You're right, they are offensive, and they are that way to attract attention because, let's face it, sex sells most of the time, except when you don't want it to sell to you, right? So there are ways that you can block ads, and you will block ads on web pages. And there's a paid program called AdGuard, and it works on Mac. You said you had an iMac, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so it works on Mac, Android, as well as Windows. And what it will do is it will block ads. You can also get rid of any trackers or analytic systems. It helps you protect your data. You can also browse anonymously on the internet. But the big thing is that this ad blocking is going to be unnoticeable background filtering and processing. So what you will see are pages with just the content that you want to see. And again, it's over at adguard.com. Once again, that's adguard.com. It's $5.50 a month. And if you're looking for a free solution that may not be as robust, is that there's a program that's free. It's called AdBlock Plus. Once again, that's adblockplus.org. It supports all the major popular browsers. So again, adguard.com or adblockplus.org. But I think you're going to find more of the flexibility that you're looking for in the AdGuard. Again, that's over at adguard.com. Jeff, thanks for your call. I appreciate you getting through. Okay, a friend of mine who lives in California wanted to rent a car in the UK. So she was quoted like $900 for 4 days. You may have heard me talk about this. She used a VPN to say she was in the UK, and suddenly that number dropped to $350. It's super easy to do. With your VPN, you just say that you're somewhere else. And you can use this trick other ways. You can use international versions of the sites like Amazon, Nike, or Zora. I've seen laptops priced a lot lower on Amazon Japan than Amazon USA. Just something to keep in mind. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, get my newsletter. You can sign up at getkim.com.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's Hour 3.
So have you gotten in a Waymo yet? Have you? I don't know. I just don't trust the things. I can't get in them. Those are those white self-driving cars that are popping up all across the country. They're in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Phoenix. They just launched in Atlanta. Well, Waymo just came out with some news the other day that said that they are doing 100,000 rides a week. Wow, 100,000 rides a week. And they finally figured out why some of these self-driving computerized cars are crashing. Why? They didn't install the driver. Oh, that was a bad one. But I heard you groan. I did. And on that happy note, welcome to the biggest show, the best show, your most trusted source for all things digital. I'm Kim Komando, your beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. And you're about ready to get more tech smarts because you need it. Because let me tell you, if you are not tech ahead today, you are tech left behind in the dust. And you can find The Kim Komando Show on over 420 top stations across the United States. I'm streaming in your favorite radio app, as well as your favorite podcast player, too. Just search for my last name, Komando with a K, of course. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force listening to us and joining us on the American Forces Network Radio. And great sponsors always help to make this show possible. And I always negotiate exclusive money-saving deals for you guys and gals. And you can find links to all of them at komando.com/sponsors. And I'd like to thank NetSuite for helping to make this show possible. Over 40,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle. You know, it's the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one fluid platform. Now, NetSuite has added a range of new AI features to its product, and these updates are designed to help companies operate more efficiently. For example, the software can now automatically detect unusual activity in a company's financial data, allowing issues to be addressed quickly before they become bigger problems. It helps give you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're going to be peering into the future with actionable data. And when you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backward and more time on what's next. NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. Download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. All right, you can count on me to always make sure that you and I both know the latest that's happening in the tech world, and it changes. Oh my gosh. You know, I drop by all these websites, and sometimes it's just like mind-boggling. And people will drop me notes and say, you know, Kim, how do you find so much content to do 2 daily shows, a newsletter, podcasts, and then the 3-hour weekend show? Because our whole life is based on technology right now. It is. So here are the top 5 things you need to know that's happening. We're going to start with a story that I read about in Bloomberg. This guy by the name of Peter was in Singapore. He was attending a medical conference. And then suddenly he gets a phone call. Adult Protective Services said there was something wrong with his mother, Annette. He thought she was sick. Then he got the news. Scammers had convinced his 83-year-old mom that she was helping catch criminals. They pretended that they were from J.P. Morgan Chase's fraud department, and she was part of a top-secret investigation. Over 9 months, she handed over $1.4 million. $1.4 million. And the more that Peter dug into it, the more he realized that how the whole system had failed her. Huge withdrawals, suspicious wire transfers, the banks saying, there's nothing we did wrong. Your mom authorized everything. It took almost 300 days before anyone notified Peter what was going on. So, bottom line here, you have older adults in your family. You need to be a signer on their bank account. You need to be able to look at all their statements. That's the bottom line. Okay. Do not depend on the banks to do your job. This is now your job. The banks are saying, we can't do it. We can't do it. It's not our fault. So just, take a lesson here from Peter and make sure that you know what's going on with the older adults in your family and their money. Moving on to number 2. Back in 1994, automakers first began putting inside all cars and trucks that so-called black box. We were told that it would collect only accident and engine performance data, but now we find out it's a whole different story. Instead of just recording accident performance data, We have EDRs, event data recorders, and they track everything. It knows when you're speeding, hard braking, rapidly accelerating. It automatically and wirelessly reports everything to data brokers like LexisNexis. This data is turned into your driving risk score that's sold to the insurance company, who may use it to raise your rates. You're sitting there going, but is this an invasion of my privacy? Isn't this illegal? Nope, it's not. Moving on to number 3, astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, they've been on the ISS since June 6, 2024. They were only supposed to be there a week, but here they are just spinning around on the ISS out in space. So the ship that was supposed to bring them home had problems. The astronauts were having issues with Boeing. NASA spent billions of dollars on Starliner. The spacecraft has problems like helium leaks, unreliable thrusters. That's bad stuff. So listen to this. NASA is now considering as a backup plan using a SpaceX capsule that's docked at the station. But the catch, the astronauts' spacesuits are not compatible with the SpaceX system. So they'd have to fly without a suit. The SpaceX capsule only fits 4 people. So they could launch it with fewer crew members, leaving room for the stranded astronauts, setting up the right suits ahead of time. But what this all means is that they're going to be stuck on the ISS for a few more months. Oh, that's a bad movie, isn't it? Speaking of, an astronaut is making coffee on board the ISS. He turns to his crewmate and says, "Dang, I can't find any milk for my coffee." His crewmate on the ISS says, "In space, no one can. Here, use cream." Coming in at number 4, you heard me talk about how my house was swatted by the Chilean gangs. Well, authorities nationwide are warning about these gangs staking out homes. They're planting hidden cameras disguised as rocks, tucked into shrubs to spy on you in your own yard. So now some people are taking action. You might want to do this. Blur your home on Google Maps, because these gangs are scouting neighborhoods using Google Maps. If you need the steps on how to do that, just hit the website, komando.com, and say blur home Google Maps in the search box, and it'll pop up for you. And finally, this coming in at number 5, I guess we are in a loneliness crisis. According to a Gallup poll, 1 in 5 workers feel lonely. And it's worse for those who are still working at home. 25% feel isolated compared to 16% who actually go to work. So I wanted to share this story. There are apps like Tinder and Bumble, but it's all about making connections and friendships. The Breakfast Club, Creative Lunch Club, Time Left. Time Left works like this. You pick a dinner event near you, you grab a seat at a table, and then you meet people face to face. Yes, a novel idea. $25 to have dinner with strangers, and they're setting it up all across the country. All right, we're not getting any younger. That's why you need to add collagen to your diet. It's just a powerhouse, packed with protein and scientifically proven to help with bone health, tissue recovery, and even smooths wrinkles, thickens hair, and strengthens weak or damaged nails. You see, as we age, our collagen levels drop, and that's where Native Path comes in. Their collagen formula is designed for quick absorption, making a difference you can feel and see. Plus, it's as pure as it gets. You just have one single ingredient and no GMOs, no fillers, no gluten, no dairy, or any of that extra stuff. And you can forget trying to take those horse-sized pills. Yuck. You see, with Native Path, it's just easy to add it to your routine. You just mix it into coffee, smoothies, oatmeal, whatever you like. I just mix it in water. And no clumps, no funky taste. Now, right now, as a Kim Komando Show listener, you get 45% off with free shipping. But here's what you need to do. Go to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. Getnativepath.com/Kim. You're going to get 45% off and free shipping at getnativepath.com/Kim. All right, aside from the Kim Komando Show, I have a great podcast called Kim Komando Today. And I got a chance to sit down and talk to Brian Johnson. I don't know if you know his name. He's the tech millionaire. He's trying to crack the code on living forever. It's just fascinating. Brian claims that he's the most measured human being in history. His goal is to get his whole body back to an 18-year-old condition. Now, the reason why I wanted to have Brian back is that he hit a milestone. Basically, for every 12 months that go by, his body only ages 7.6 months. So that means he has a birthday every 19 months. Wow, isn't that something? Every 19 months, the guy has a birthday. Here, take a listen. So, Brian, thanks for being here. Do we say happy birthday?
Yes, it is. Thank you. Thanks for. It's nice to be back.
So what is your body age right now if you're following your birthday 19-month calendar?
Yeah, well, it's really a new frame of a concept. We've always assumed that the birthday should be celebrated every 12 months. And we're demonstrating that there are clocks inside your body that actually show you your speed of aging. So if you're aging at a 1, then it's, you as a normal 46-year-old would age, 1 biological year for 1 chronological year. But you can actually slow down that clock. And so for the past 4 years, we've endeavored to try to slow down my speed of aging. And this is a new personal best. It's a slower speed of aging than 99% of 20-year-olds.
Wow. So you can't even drink yet.
That's right.
So I watched the video of you going down to Honduras for the I guess you'd say, is it DNA or gene therapy? What would you call that?
That's right. It was my first longevity gene therapy. And so what we did is as a team, we combed through all the scientific literature and we tried to find the science that had the best results. So what would be encouraging, for example, if you find a study that, extended mice lifespan for, 30%. And then we ranked all the scientific evidence according to how good they were at increasing longevity. And then we started working through that process systematically. And so this given therapy, gene therapy for follistatin ranks number 7. And so we've been trying to do it for the past few years, but we could never find a gene therapy that was safe because once you do gene therapy, you can't really turn it off. Well, we found a company that allowed us to do the gene therapy and also have a kill switch. So if you don't like the outcome or you're worried about it, you can just take an antibiotic, tetracycline, and it turns it off. So I did the gene therapy in September. I also gave it to my dad. And since then, we got the 6-month results where I increased my muscle mass by 7% and my speed of aging dropped to a new personal best of 0.64.
And so why Honduras? Why go there? Because it was actually an island off of Honduras.
Yeah, the therapy is not approved in the U.S. by the FDA. It was developed in Prospera, which is a special economic zone on the island off the coast of Honduras. And so it's legally administered in that jurisdiction, but it's not FDA approved in the U.S.
So can you feel a difference?
I can't. When I first started doing my protocol a few years ago, I was migrating from sleep deprivation and being overweight and eating junk food to sleeping well and exercising and eating well. And I felt a dramatic difference in my overall well-being. But once you've become optimized to a certain degree, it's pretty hard to feel the effects of anything. So at this point, I kind of feel great all the time. And it's just hard to move the needle very much at this point.
But that makes complete sense. I mean, when we were 20 and we'd go out all weekend and just sleep a couple hours, you were fine rolling in on Monday morning. And now I peel an orange and I need to take a nap. So that totally makes sense.
Like, for example, there's a common idea that, you work out 2 or 3 times a week or 3 or 4 times a week. You let your muscles repair in that time frame. I work out 7 days a week, 1 hour every day. I never get sore. And so we're doing things that do pressure test what we've been told. And so far, we can't identify anything that is wrong. It doesn't seem like we're causing any damage. My muscle mass is in the top 99 percentile. My fat is 99 percentile optimal. And so, my body just is working really well in all areas.
It truly is, that your body is a machine at this point. And I will tell you, Brian, is that I saw pictures of you this morning. Probably 10 years ago. You look so great now. I mean, before you looked like that tech guy that was living on Red Bull and just barely existing. And now you're like this vibrant man. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's exactly how I feel. I was mostly dead in that kind of lifestyle. And now I feel it's the best conscious experience of my life.
So now you talked about the fact that everything is working and nothing is harming you yet. If you get to a point where you're seeing reversals or you're trying something and it's hurting you, will you just adjust? Will you cut that off? How are you going to manage something like that?
Yeah, we do. We experiment and we learn and we adjust, and it's a constant process. And it's really a good question of how much do we really know and how much do we not know. It could be possible that we really don't know most of what we should know. And so we just don't know where we're at in the stage of anti-aging. But so far, with what we can tell, we look at biomarkers like cholesterol and triglycerides and inflammation, things like that. We look at other more advanced technologies like, or I guess I should say emergent technologies like speed of aging. But in every biomarker, I'm in the top 1%. And so I potentially have the best biomarkers of anyone in the entire world. And so if anyone's better than me, I don't know who they are. They haven't shared it. But if you look at across the board, so we've really set a new standard on when you say good health, what data can you demonstrate to back that up?
Jeff Bezos looks a lot different than he did 10 years ago, too. Is he doing any type of anti-aging that you know of?
I do not know anything what Jeff is doing. I saw him at a gathering, but we didn't get into many details. So I know he's working on it generally, but I don't know what his protocol is.
And so were you concerned, going back to Honduras, were you concerned that maybe when you get the gene therapy that something might go wrong, that maybe there might be a cancer or something that might develop from that?
Yeah, there's always the risk. So my team and I spent 2 years researching this therapy. So we try to be as methodical and safe as we can. Now, of course, you can't entirely eliminate risk. So we're always taking risks. When I get into the car and drive, I'm taking a risk. And so we do try to be very thoughtful. We don't take any unnecessary risks, but this entire endeavor is experimental. No one's ever done this before. So we're very eyes wide open. We're humble. We're open. We know we're going to make mistakes. But so far, if you just say you're going to grade this effort based upon biomarkers that the world agrees upon, like cardiovascular capacity or heart health, lung health, again, I'm in the top 1% on all the categories across the board. So from what we do know today, we've exceeded far and above what I thought was possible.
See, Andrew, there's hope for you. You could go to maybe be the top 60%.
Hey, that sounds attainable.
Now, you can hear our entire chat on Kim Komando today. Wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K. But also, in case you want to watch me and Brian just chit-chat, oh, by the way, he's a total crush on Kim Kardashian. Go to youtube.com/Kim Komando.
This is an ad.
I hate
it! An ad for crisp, refreshing Angry Orchard hard cider.
That is refreshing.
An ad that interrupted your podcast.
I hate being interrupted!
To remind you to stop being angry at me and crack open an Angry Orchard.
That's a good idea.
Don't get angry. Get Orchard. Angry Orchard Cider Company, LLC. AngryOrchard.com. Please drink responsibly. Angry Orchard is a hard cider with other natural flavors.
Hey, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to talk about your Social Security Administration. They sent out a mass email, and I don't know how many folks have been saying to me, is this a scam? Do I need to get a new login? We're going to be talking about that, as well as if you're out and about in public, how easy it is for somebody to just see exactly what you're doing on your phone or tablet or laptop, and just some ways to fix that. Now, joining us here on the Kim Komando Show right now is our very own Ali Seligman, our amazing content queen. Hi there, Al.
Hi, Kim.
So I don't know if I ever told you this story, but years ago, I had two IT guys, which, we have two IT guys now. It's always good to have two IT guys if you can afford it.
Okay.
Or gals. So that if one gets sick, you always have a backup, because in our business, for example, if the studios are not working, if we're not sending out newsletters,
we can't do any of our work. Yeah.
It becomes a bad day.
Totally.
Right? And we're going to lose a whole bunch of money. So that's why, redundancy in your business, your key positions, is always super important. Super important. Okay. So one day I'm upstairs and I hear screaming, like, "You're a jerk. You don't know what you're talking about." And I'm like, what is that? Okay. So Jackie, my lovely assistant, she said, I think it's the two IT guys that are screaming downstairs.
Oh, no.
So I come downstairs and I open the door to the server room, and there they were, perched, looking down at each other, like crouching tigers, and holding up their fists, like they were going to punch each other out.
Oh, what the heck?
Okay. And then me, because I'm always so smart in these situations, I go in there and, I'm a big girl, not, okay. And I go in there and I do a jumping jack. And I'm like, stop right there.
In between them?
In between them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what are you two fighting about? He doesn't know what he's doing and he bad-mouthed me and I'm smarter than him. And
oh, brother.
yeah. So then I said, and then I told him, I told him?
What?
I said, if you guys want to beat each other up, you can. But you better do it after 5 o'clock and off of my property.
This is like when kids would wait to go fight after school.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But your IT department's super important.
It sure is. And think about all the control they have over everything that we do. I mean,
For
most
sure.
businesses run on tech. Like you just said, ours, right? If we didn't have our stuff working, we can't work. We can't put out the products that we do. And that's true for a lot of businesses. So we saw this story that is, I've seen iterations of this before, but this one was particularly painful to read. So this guy is a software engineer, and he essentially is in control of all the remote desktops, remote computers.
Okay.
So you've worked on one if you've ever done you've logged in, this is my work machine, but I'm going to access it from home. Okay. So this guy has a lot of access at the company he works for, right? Because he can get into any computer. Well, he used that access to do a ransomware attack on the company.
On his own company.
His own company. So,
nice.
Yeah, he went through, he deleted all their backups. He deleted all of the IT administrators out of the system so nobody else could do anything. And then he said, yeah, just give me $750,000 and we'll call it a day.
Okay, did they know it was him, or was he pretending to be like some gang from Singapore or something like that?
Well, that's the thing. He was pretending to be someone else, but pretty quickly they figured out, oh, this is this jerk who works in this department.
Did they go through how they figured it out?
They didn't. They haven't released that. I know. Wouldn't you love to see
Yes.
the full in-depth? Yeah, maybe that'll be like a mini series someday.
Yeah, I mean, because here, let's make some guesses. Okay. It could be like they hired a forensic team.
For sure.
Okay.
It could be that this person talks in a really specific way and they were like, wait, that
Yes.
sounds like what's his name?
Yeah, they could be doing it that way.
Mhm.
Or he told somebody.
Sure.
Or somebody in the IT department knew that he was working late or logging in. I mean, so because you always leave a trail.
Yes, exactly. There are all these clues, right? And so, yeah, really hard to get away with stuff like this, especially if it's an inside job. So dumb. But if you own a business and you heard that story and thought well, dang, what would I do
Right.
if someone who worked for me and controlled all this stuff that maybe I don't know how to deal with? How do I protect myself from that? And there are some things you can do. I've got 3, okay? Number 1 is backups because, okay, this guy went in and deleted all their backups. Well, the problem here, why did he have access to all the backups? There is a rule in info security, 321 backup rule. We've talked about it before. Basically, you want 3 different copies of your data. You want them on 2 different types of media. So maybe one's in the cloud, one's on a drive, right? And you want 1 copy that you keep off-site. Now, it used to be that we talked about this because what if there was, I don't know, a storm or the building got destroyed, a fire, whatever. Well, what if your IT guy's the one going in? Yeah, so a lot of companies will do, maybe someone in HR, right, takes an encrypted version and keeps it in a safe. Generally, it's something like that, where it's kept in a really safe place. You don't have to do this too often. You probably just need to do your documents, your important stuff annually. You can do it more often if you want. And yes, there are companies that will help you figure out how to do this or even do it for you if you're just I have no idea where to start with that.
And this is not the most sexiest topic. Okay. I know I know some of you are sitting there going oh God, backups. Who wants to talk about backups?
Backups. Allie's here with backups again. But it might not be sexy, but trust me, if this is the thing that saves your business, what's sexier than that, Kim?
Yeah. And then you also have to make sure, do certain people really need to have access to things?
Yes.
And where you audit accounts, you say does Bob in accounting really need to have this?
Absolutely. There's this thing, it's called the principle of least privilege. Say that to your IT person, they're going to be like, whoa, you are so smart. Principle of least privilege is essentially give people the access they need to do their jobs and nothing more. So if I work in marketing, should I have access to all of the audio files for the show? No, probably not. I don't need that, right? So you give people what they need, and regularly, yes, you want to go through and make sure that nobody has access that they shouldn't, especially when you have people leave. That should be part of your process. And then finally, one more term that, seriously, say this to an IT person and they're going to be super impressed. These are like your dork points for the week. And I say dork lovingly. It's called SEAM, Security Event and Incident Management. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
This essentially means when certain things happen in your system, you should be alerted to that automatically. If passwords are changing, accounts are being deleted, certain things are being accessed, you should know about it, and there are ways to set those up. Now, I would say if you are outsourcing all of your IT, don't have the same person who's running the day-to-day do that. Hire someone else, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you get those updates. If you have someone on your staff that is a little more techie and maybe more involved with that, perhaps you have someone who is an in-house IT person. Okay. But then you all get those updates. So, part of the problem here, this guy was doing so much stuff.
He's doing everything.
Apparently nobody knew about it.
Okay, so give us those two techno terms that we can leave people with.
Okay.
So that when they say these two, that I need from you these two things, and that their IT person will be looking at them like going like, whoa. Yeah. Okay.
Principle of least privilege.
Yes. Okay. Principle of least privilege. Yes.
And then we've got security, event, and incident management.
Yes. Yeah. So you just spout that out. Just say, hey, you know what, guys? I was thinking I need these two things.
Hey, guys, could I review the SEAM? And they're going to be like, whoa, we're not messing with this person. Yeah.
And if they say, what is it? You got problems. Okay?
Then you got problems.
You got problems. Al, thanks as always for being here. We appreciate it because there's always changes, and this is important stuff. I mean, any size business, you need to make sure that you know exactly what's going on in the IT verse. Hey, do you need statistics to convince you to finally bite the bullet and get antivirus software? Well, here's the cold, hard truth. Ransomware makes up 68% of cyber attacks. 72% of businesses were attacked by ransomware last year. Phishing scams are the most reported cybercrime in the U.S. And last but not least, AI-powered cybercrimes are rumored to make up 85% of these scams. Now, when you're not using good, solid antivirus software, you are at a major risk, period. Don't wait for the worst to happen. Protect yourself. My pick for antivirus security software is the award-winning Total AV. Go to protectwithkim.com right now, and you'll get protection just $19 for the first year. That's Protect with Kim, protectwithkim.com. Hey, if you get an email from the Social Security Administration about creating a new account at login.gov, it is legit. We have all the details over at commando.com. Marie in San Diego, California. Hi there, Marie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Good. How can I help you?
So I am helping a family member close his business, and we'll be dealing with vendors and clients, and I do not want the phone calls coming to my cell phone because in closing the business, we canceled the business phone, and I need help.
You sound so frustrated, Marie.
Oh, my God. You have no idea. Well, you know what? The gift is your emails with the funny pictures.
Oh, good.
It brings me joy.
Good.
But, right now, it's been a real storm.
Well, it's a lot of work. It is. It's a lot of work. Okay, I'm going to make your life easier. So, you ready? Take a deep breath. Ready. Take a deep breath. Ready? Okay, ready? Taking that deep breath. I don't hear it, Marie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to, on your current phone, so you don't have to buy another phone, okay, or get another phone, is that you're going to set up a Google Voice account. Google Voice will give you a phone number for calls, texts, voicemails. You can use that number to make phone calls. And what's nice about this too is that you will hear this, it will be distinct ring from what you already have on your phone. And so when that Google Voice number rings, you know it's coming in just for the business. Make sense?
Yeah. Is it possible, because I have someone else that's going to be helping me with some of the vendors, to have a separate phone without...
You could give them access to the voice number, and you can give them access to the transcripts and the emails and things like that. But it's going to ring on your phone. That's what it's going to ring. You can also set up a phone tree on a Google Voice number, which that may be another solution for you, is that press 1 if you're calling about this, press 2 about this, press 3. And then if somebody presses 3, that call could be forwarded to another number.
Oh.
So you have some different options there. Press 1 if you just want to know the mailing address or what the procedures are if you're looking for a form. I don't know what kind of business it is, so I can't really give you any specifics other than, how voice trees work. And so
the vendor calls can go to this other person.
Yes.
And the client calls can come to me. That can work.
Yes.
That would work.
So I'm going to put you on hold. And then Amber, who's screening calls today, she'll give you a direct link where you can get more information about Google Voice. It's really a terrific solution for a lot of different scenarios. We actually helped set a Catholic monk up with a Google Voice number in Virginia because, oh my gosh, the poor guy at the food bank, everybody's calling his personal cell phone number, even when he needed to give last rites at midnight. And so we facilitated with setting up his Google Voice number, and then setting up the phone tree in Spanish and English. And, we are still taking care of whatever costs are associated with that to this day. Really is a very, very powerful, powerful tool out there for a lot of folks. Again, it's a Google Voice account. So, Marie, hang on the line and take another deep breath because life is good again. Let's see. Rick in Indianapolis, you're up next.
Hi, Kim. Digital goddess.
Finally, somebody shows me some respect around here. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you for taking my call.
You betcha. What's going on?
I play this one really basic solitaire game just about every day, and I keep getting these pop-up ads, which I don't care to pay to get them out of there. And the one that's really grabbed my attention is you can make cash playing bingo or playing this solitaire that. And I was raised to think that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Mm-hmm. What can you tell me about these things?
Well, hate to break it to you, but by playing solitaire or bingo or whatever that game is online, you are not going to be able to pay your bills, okay? Most of these apps, you gain points, and as you get more points, that's when you can turn it into a gift card. And typically, they won't even send you the gift card until you reach at least $10 or $15 or even $20. Some folks, the folks that I have spoken to, the most that they make is probably $20 a month. And now, if you do compete, and sometimes in tournaments, there may be some cash prizes for the tournaments, but it's not like solitaire is going to be this big tournament play, and it's not like esports. So then you start thinking like, all right, so now I'm playing solitaire, and I'm playing for free because I don't want to pay, so this way I don't see the ads. So what are they doing? That's where you have to look at your permissions and look at the terms and conditions, because this solitaire game could be getting a copy of anything that you have on your phone. It could be tracking your location. It could be tracking what you buy online, the ads that you see. And so in case you're ever wondering, is Facebook really listening? Because a lot of people think that, you say something and you're all of a sudden you start seeing ads for it on Facebook. Is that it's not necessarily that's Facebook's listening. It could be one of these nefarious apps that you're using. And the app is actually doing the listening and doing all the tracking, but then selling that information off to Facebook. So, you used a very good phrase, Rick, and that was, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably bad. Okay. So for you to sit there and play solitaire or whatever and to think that you're going to make a whole bunch of money, it's just not realistic. Now, if you do need to make money, there are legitimate ways for you to make money. Like, for example, you could sign up for Amazon Turk. And so instead of playing solitaire, maybe you sort, a list, or you say, what color is this on the screen? Things that AI just can't do on a regular basis with a lot of accuracy. Humans are doing. Again, that's Amazon Turk. You can just sign up. And, hey, by the way, if you're too shy to come on a big time show or podcast, and you're like, oh, I have a question for you, Kim Komando. Well, just go to the right place, komando.com, and hit the link at the top that says Ask Kim. It's called shoulder surfing. With just a quick glance at your screen, a nearby stranger can compromise your privacy. So how do you protect yourself? Something called privacy screen filters. These are thin, attachable films for your devices that will just obscure your screen. Here's how they work. To anyone not directly in front of you, the screen appears dark, and so it keeps sensitive information just totally out of sight. And if possible, you want to face the wall or a corner to prevent anybody from looking over your shoulder. And if you are just leaving your laptop for a minute, if you're on Windows, hit the Windows key and the letter L. If on a Mac, Command Control Q, you automatically lock your device. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, get my newsletter. You can sign up at getkim.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Business owners, meet Progressive Insurance. They make it easy to get discounts on commercial auto insurance and find coverages to grow with your business. Quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's Hour 4.
Okay, you might remember last year I mentioned a dating app by the name of Score. Why did they call it Score? Well, in order to be on this dating app, you needed a credit score of at least 675. Now, it was supposed to be just like this 90-day pop-up test, but everybody loved it. And they just shut it down, but they gathered some interesting data. As it turns out, millennials had the highest credit scores, right? Now, what about men versus women? Men had an 11% higher credit score than women on the dating app. That's a pretty big gap. Yeah, those women couldn't even get a loan at the library. And on that happy note, welcome everyone. I'm Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. And let me tell you, you're about ready to get more tech smarts, because if you are not tech ahead, you will be left behind, totally in the dust. And just a quick reminder that you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top radio stations. We're streaming in your favorite radio app. And brand new, you can get The Kim Komando Show as a podcast. So wherever you get your podcast, just search for my last name with a K, of course. All right, great sponsors help to make this show possible. And I always negotiate a money-saving deal with them. So to see all the deals and get all the links that you need, just head over to komando.com/sponsors. And if you're a business owner, you don't need me to tell you that running a business is challenging. It's so hard. Well, right now, to help you out, you can download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist absolutely free. But you have to go to this address, netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. All right, it's my labor of love. Every single day, I just go to a slew of websites. I talk to industry insiders to make sure that we know exactly what's happening in the tech world and how we can stay safer and how do we protect our privacy and what's big tech doing. And here are the top 5 things you need to know that are happening right now. And we're going to start with yet another data breach. This time it's ADT. They were forced to admit to the Securities and Exchange Commission that they got hacked. Now here's the deal. They won't say when. They won't say what the cyber thieves got other than some names and addresses. But is ADT, your home business, really protected? I mean, this is a big red flag, right? I mean, this is a security company. My point is, when confidential customer information is stolen, that company should do what? They should notify its customers immediately. It should tell them exactly what was stolen, what you need to do to protect yourself. Instead, ADT customers got informed months after the fact. And some of you may be learning about this right now for the first time. Okay. This is no way to run a security company, one that holds the passcodes to just millions of American homes. All right, let's talk about Venmo or PayPal next. If you have money sitting in cash apps, or worse, your employer pays you directly through one of these apps, your money is definitely at risk. Because here's the deal. Money in a legitimate bank, of course, is fully insured up to $250,000 by the government's FDIC. You know that. But you have to remember that cash apps are not banks. Should they get hacked and your money taken, you have no recourse. That's just it. So these cash apps are okay for, say, the immediate transfer of small amounts of money, but do not leave your money sitting in these apps. Just don't do that. All right, moving on to number 3. What was the world like 80 years ago? Let's all go back in time. The world was in the middle of World War II. Radios were the main source of news. TVs existed, but no one really owned one. Big band music. Oh, everybody loved it. Now, with that in mind, I want you to think about what an average American has been through in the last 80 years. And now we're going to throw artificial intelligence on top of that to say, okay, Here's how you use AI. Here's how it can better your life. Here's what's going on. So when I read this story, I thought to myself, what a great idea. Senior centers all across the country, Chicago, Atlanta, Charleston, are now hosting free AI workshops to help our older adults get to know the AI tools and how they can use them and what they can do with it. So if you think you're confused about AI, or if you know someone who needs to take one of these classes, just look it up. Pass on the know-how. Or you can always call me. I'm here for you. All right, coming in at number 4, let's talk about Roblox. When my son was much younger, boy, I'll tell you, he and his friends, they just loved that online game called Roblox. It was a safe place for kids, but not today. If you have kids on Roblox, you just have to know it's become a very dangerous place. Since 2006, Roblox has been this major online game. 78 million use it a few times a week. You could say it's the world's largest recreation zone online for kids. But to be blunt, Roblox has a pedophile problem. Of these 78 million, 30 million are younger than 13. So what's happening is that pedophiles, those sickos, pretend to be kids, and they are luring these innocent children through poorly monitored online chats. So the owners of Roblox could make it safer. They could police the entire network more carefully, but they don't. So, word to the wise, very young children should not be on Roblox. Just say no, be a strong parent. And finally, this coming in at number 5. Oh, let me tell you, for more than 4 years, I have managed, yes, to keep the world's most spoiled and entitled couple. I'm talking about the prince formerly known as Harry and Meghan, completely out of my show until today. Their latest stunt has got my attention. And let's go back in time. After Meghan failed with her Spotify podcast, I think she did one, Harry failed to rally the British or American sport after his disgraceful book. And then we have the implosion of Meghan's jelly, jams, and dog biscuit business, like she's trying to copy Goop. They've thrown out yet another dumb idea. This time it's called the Parents Network. Oh, how great to save all the children by warning parents about the dangers of social media. Okay, except you guys are too late. We already know about social media's dangers. Meghan's Archewell charity supports this thing, and Archewell has a bad rap. It's not transparent. It won't say where the money goes, but I'm sure we all have a pretty good idea. Hey, listen, you can stop robocalls, spam texts, and junk email from just blowing up your phone and remove yourself off the internet. Here's what you need to do. Visit privacykim.com. You're going to get 60% off. Once again, that's privacykim.com. I get 0 spammy texts, 0 spammy phone calls. I'm telling you, this is an amazing service. Okay, it's going to wipe you off the internet. privacykim.com. Once again, that's privacykim.com. Hey, listener, you're just tired of dealing with annoying passwords. Every account needs a different one. Uppercase, lowercase, symbols, 12 or more characters. Let me tell you, NordPass ends the madness for good, so you can forget juggling dozens or even hundreds of passwords. You see, NordPass remembers and auto-fills them for you. And that's it. You're just going to love this. So let's say you go to a site, and instead of you trying to remember your password, NordPass steps in like magic and just auto-fills all your passwords. You're going to love this. And when you're buying something, it automatically fills in your credit card, your billing, your shipping details too. You see, NordPass uses the strongest military-grade encryption and offers email masking, password sharing, and even a solution for businesses. Now, let me tell you, I negotiated a special deal for you. Go to nordpass.com/Kim, and you're going to get 58% off today. Once again, that's nordpass.com/Kim. You really need to check this out. It's like $1.23 a month. It's an incredible bargain. Once again, that's nordpass.com/Kim. All right, let's get started with all of your phone calls. And how about we begin with Anna in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi there, Anna.
Hey, how are you?
I'm wonderful. What's going on?
I'm a grandma, and I want to share a story that happened to me concerning my grandson and a telephone call. Okay. I was coming home from a doctor appointment, and my phone is connected through the Jeep, the car, and the phone number rang. The phone rang, and it was a weird phone call, and weird phone number, not a local area number here in Arizona.
Okay.
I used to be in the mortgage business, so I know all the area codes. And the phone call goes, I answered the phone and I said hello, and he said, Grandma, I've been arrested. I've been in my nose is bleeding, and I've been in a car accident. And I said, well, where are you? And he said, well, I've been arrested. I'm downtown in jail. And I said, and it sounded like my grandson. I couldn't get over how much it sounded like my grandson.
Wow.
And he says, I've been arrested, and I need for the public defender's office is going to call you. And he gave me this phone number, and he says, and here's my case, my docket number, and he gave me all these numbers, and I looked at like I said, I looked at the area code, and I said, something's wrong here. And he said, Grandma, please don't tell my family. I'm so embarrassed that I've been arrested. He said, please don't do that. Don't call my parents. So he said the DA, the public defender, is going to call you here in a few minutes. So please wait please wait for the phone call.
Mm-hmm.
So he hung up, and I know my son has an iPhone, and my grandson's a teenager, and he has a tracker on it. So I called my son, and he told me that JJ was at home, and so but the public defender called me back, and he called me from a 807 area code. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, why are you calling me? If you're from the public defender's office, why are you calling me from an area code that's not in the Phoenix area? If he's downtown jail, why aren't you? He says, well, I'm using my personal phone number. And I said, since when does the public defender's office allow you to use your own phone number? And with that, he hung up on me. Mm-hmm. But
wow.
The thing is, you got to watch, be the area codes and be proactive. And I later learned that in situations like that, family needs to have some type of family code so that when you have the person on the phone that's claiming to be your grandson, you ask them the family code, and that way you know it's a fake right away. I knew it was a fake because of the area code.
Having that family code is super important, Anna. It is. It's just maybe it's a 4-digit number, it's a word, whatever it may be, so that this way, if you do get a phone call like this, and it sounds just like your grandson, right, Anna? I mean, it sounded like him, right?
I couldn't believe it, and I said, Grandma, and I said, JJ, and I thought that's who it was, because
for sure, and they don't need a lot of time, to deep fake somebody's voice. I mean, they can deep fake a voice with, say, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and with kids having so much of their lives on social media, it's pretty easy for them to grab some audio, to duplicate a voice, then to do just some basic work, maybe look at a Facebook account, and you figure out who Grandma is, and then you can track down that phone number. And, you have to be on the ball, folks. You do. And Anna, you're smart. I'm glad that you didn't fall for it. You did the number one thing. You call, you see where they are, you see where they're located. Anna, thank you for your call today and for sharing your story. And hopefully we saved a whole bunch of people from falling for the same scam. And, think about this. Come up with a secret word, a secret code, something that just in your family. So in case you do get a phone call, a video, whatever it may be, and you're like, is this legit? Is that you can always ask, what's the secret word? They don't know it. You're getting scammed. All right, let's see who's next. Ronald in Caldwell, Idaho. Hi there, Ron.
Hi. Hey, what I've got is a question concerning an ad I keep seeing when I'm playing my game apps, and that is a plant identification app that also tells you how to give your plant better health. Mm-hmm. And then I've seen it for 2 or 3 different companies. So I've got two-part question. Number one, can it really do that? Can it really tell me my plant needs more coffee? Or, and if it does, which of all these apps are good and which are just, come on?
Well, you know, it's interesting because with the advent of facial recognition technology and now other type of recognition technology, if it's just a plant that you're trying to identify, you probably don't even need an app. And that's because you can use Google Lens, and that's free from Google. And you can just take a picture of it, tells you exactly what it is. And then if you're on an iPhone, the same thing is possible using the Apple Photo app. It just, you take a picture of something, you hit the big letter I, and then bingo, tells you what it is. Now, if you're looking for more than that, that's where, as you mentioned, there are like several out there. There's Plant Snap, there's Picture This, there's Plant Ticks, and there's something called iNaturalist. Now, if you are looking for which one that I would probably look at is the iNaturalist. It has millions of observations. It shows you insects and birds and plants, and then you can learn different ways to take care of your plants, and you just open up your camera, you start taking a look at it, whatever it may be. You know, and these are really fun apps. Now, but you may not like that one. And so that's why before you pay for any app, there's always a free trial. And that's what's nice about these apps. You get at least a free try before you actually have to start paying for it. And then you want to pay attention to what exactly that you're paying for. So if they start charging you for a monthly fee to start identifying plants, and unless you're doing this every single day when you're out on a walk, I'd probably say no to it. Again, the other ones that you want to take a look at is Plant Snap, Picture This, and then the one that I think you might want to take a look at first is called iNaturalist. And as I mentioned, it's really great for identify plants and animals, and it kind of has a game to it, which might be kind of fun for you to check out as well. And Ron, thank you for your call. Oh, speaking of plants, let me tell you, I accidentally planted the wrong flowers in my garden. Yeah. Oopsie daisies. Ooh, I know. That one even hurt me. It's a tough one. All right, let's talk about checks. Are you still mailing checks? Well, now's the time to go paperless. Why? Because check fraud has doubled within the past year. But here's the deal. People may be writing fewer checks, but this is really interesting. The amount on the checks have actually increased. The current average check amount clocks in at around $2,600. So that's enough to make a criminal want to go through your mailbox and start stealing your mail and your identity. And they target envelopes that look like checks being mailed or bill payments. So now's the time to play it super safe. If you do need to write a check, what I want you to do is use a security pen. It's also known as a check washing pen. If you're not sure what they look like, what the brand is, just head over to Komando.com because we've got links to these pens over on Amazon. Now, these pens are different. They use a specially formulated ink that gets trapped inside the paper. Okay, this makes it super hard for criminals to wash or erase whatever you've written there. And you have a few more steps to take, all right? You want to monitor your accounts. I know so many of you are sitting there like, oh, you know, I don't have any money in the bank. I don't have to worry about that. I know. And then maybe you're even afraid to balance your checkbook. Okay. You have to be really super protective of your checking account and your banking number. And, you know, just do everybody a favor. Secure your mailbox. Make sure that you don't leave mail in there, you know, for weeks on a time. If you can get a mailbox with a lock on it, that's even better. All right, if you're just too shy to come on a big-time radio show and podcast, I totally get that, but I still want to help you out. So the best place for you to leave me your questions by going to Komando.com. And up at the top of the page, there's a link that says Ask Kim. I read every single note. Hey, coming up, we have 2 sites to get gift cards at a discount. And then later on, how you can use your phone to actually find spy cams. And before we get to that and more of your phone calls, let's talk about your Amazon Echo. Because not everyone knows that the Amazon Echo can do more than, say, just turn on the lights, give you the weather, or play your music. It actually has a microphone that can listen in for the sound of a smoke alarm, carbon monoxide alarm, or glass breaking when you're not home. And when it happens, you're going to get a notification. But here's the deal. This feature requires a subscription to Amazon's Alexa Emergency Assist. And this costs money. It costs $6 a month or $59 a year. And then once you're subscribed, you can say, Alexa, I'm leaving, and that will turn on Alexa Guard when you head out, and also Alexa, I'm home when you get back home. But here's the deal. At $6 a month, $59 a year just for that, you are totally better off just getting a full-on security system. Now, SimpliSafe Kim is the system I use and I recommend. Once again, that's simplysafekim.com. And they are a sponsor of the show, by the way. All right, aside from the show, I host an incredibly popular podcast called Kim Komando Today. And you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. And it's a chance for me to get to talk to some really interesting people, like Kat. Kat Callahan is known for her work as a radio host and a voiceover artist, but she has a huge presence on TikTok. She's the person behind one of TikTok's most popular text-to-speech voices. Okay, and totally went viral when she revealed this on TikTok. So I sat down, I talked to her about all this. Here, take a listen.
Hello, have you heard this voice before? This is Jessie, the most popular text-to-speech voice on TikTok. And no, this isn't voiced by a robot. It's voiced by a real woman, Kat Callahan. She's joining us today to tell us what it's like to hear her voice everywhere.
All right, Kat, come on board.
Thank you for having me. No, I'm kidding. I won't do the whole interview like that, I promise.
How did you get the gig? How did they choose your voice over all other female voices?
You know, I don't know how, to be honest with you, I'm not sure how many people were up for this gig. But it was one of those things I just learned that I got it. And then, it was just like off to the races.
How many different words did you have to say? And I'm so curious about this. Was it sentences that they had you read, or was it just combustible? Kellogg's?
Well, there's lots of different ways that you can do it. It's funny. I speak often to the original voice of Siri. Her name is Susan. She's a great lady.
That's weird that you and Siri are friends.
I know.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah. It is kind of creepy. And I know who Alexa is, but she's not allowed to say it. But so I've spoken with all these people who do these things for a living because, yes, there's real humans behind all of them. But it's interesting how the way that she did it, as I heard it, wasn't exactly my gig with TikTok, which it's one of those things. When you work for these companies and you do this voiceover work, they're understandably very sensitive about what they do. And there's a lot of competition out there. So I can't speak on everything that I've done and give you guys details. However, it was definitely different than anything I'd ever done before.
So how many videos do you think your voice is on?
Oh, it's got to be billions.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would say it's in the billions for sure.
How many different voices do they have?
Lots in there now.
Yeah.
There were, when it started out, there was not many to choose from. And now I feel like they also swap them in and out. And there's a side app called CapCut. And that's actually also owned by ByteDance. So they have a bunch more voices in there that you're able to get to too. So depending on which one you use, which platform, I would say dozens at this point.
Did you make a conscious choice to change your voice? Or was it TikTok's request to say we want it higher, we want it faster or slower? Actually, it is pretty slow if you think about it. Was that your choice or was that what TikTok wanted?
Yeah, I mean, really, that was the job, was to deliver that voice just like that. And whatever they did, it was smart. Like I said, I thought at first it was ridiculous. I'm like, no one's going to want to listen to this annoying voice. This is going to be awful. But people started to use it more and more, and it caught on quite a bit.
And so obviously you would not be allowed to be the voice of an Amazon product, right?
Well, I mean, if they want to talk, I'm willing to talk to them. And see
Good answer.
Do you have to go in and update continuously? Like they find words or sentence structure that it's not working with the text-to-speech and you have to go in and update it?
Well, the cool thing about text-to-speech technology is it's changing so rapidly. Like even from when I first started working with TikTok up until now, there's new ways, new platforms. You need less and less speech. I mean, back in the day, apparently you used to have to record hours and hours and hours of content, right? Yeah, like we've maybe all been there in the voiceover world where we're doing these jobs that takes a lot of time. And now you can literally put your voice into something for 30 seconds and they're trying to replicate your own voice for you. So we've come a long, long way for sure, but it's still not a perfect technology at all.
No, I mean, we've all tried to make a TikTok video and you put in one word and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't sound.
Figure it out yet. Did you make good money? Do you get residuals? Like you're the voice of TikTok.
Yeah, I will say that I'm very happy working with TikTok, very much so. And I will say, on top of just working for TikTok, it's opened up so many doors for me and given me such great opportunity. I mean, look at me, I'm sitting here speaking with you lovely people right now. So it's been able to give me the chance to chat with different people and to do. I have a sleep story on the Calm app. I don't know if you guys know the Calm app.
Sure, yeah.
But it's like the meditation. So stuff like that I've been able to do, which, by the way, I auditioned to be a voice on the Calm app before this. And then they reached out to me for my own story. And I was like, you guys did not give me a job a while back, but that's fine. I'll have my own story that's called Kat Callahan's story. So they kind of got a chuckle out of that.
So, every once in a while, I'll be someplace. And I don't know if this happens to you, Andrew, but, I'll be at like the grocery store and I'll start talking. And then somebody will whip their head around and go, I know who you are.
Yeah.
I know who you are. Okay. Has that ever happened to you, Kat?
Yeah, it has happened to me. And it used to be just a radio thing and a very local thing. So I would be, somewhere and people would be like, hey, I know you from the radio show. And now when they give me those looks, I don't know if they know me from TikTok or they know me from the radio world. But if I travel, I definitely know it's got to be a TikTok thing. So I'll sometimes just say hello and try to, because they'll just usually give me looks. And some will be straight up like, that's the voice of TikTok in the middle of the street. And I'm just like, hi.
Did you get to pick the name Jesse?
No, I did not pick the name Jesse.
Because
I should have just went with Kat.
Yes.
That's so much better.
Yes, Kat. Kat's great.
Kat Callahan.
Kat
I'm bringing that to the next meeting.
Next contract negotiation. You want double the money and you want the character to be named Kat.
Now, you can listen to our entire chat on Kim Komando today, wherever you get your podcasts. And you can also watch this entire interview over at my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando. All right. Are you tired of turning up the TV too loud or asking people just to repeat things? Oh, can you say that again? I didn't hear you right. Well, live your best life with Hear.com's ultra discreet high-powered hearing aids. Horizon by Hear.com isn't just any old hearing aid. It's one of the world's fastest dual processing devices that separates speech from background noise and delivers this crystal clear clarity. Now, these hearing aids are nearly invisible. They seamlessly tuck inside or behind your ear. We're not talking about these bulky, uncomfortable devices, just perfect hearing without the fuss. So whether you're home or out and about, you can enjoy unparalleled speech clarity. With insurance and flexible financing options, along with a 100% money-back guarantee, getting great hearing aids has never been easier. And let me tell you, Hear.com's batteries are rechargeable. They have Bluetooth built in so you can stream music and phone calls directly to your hearing aids. Hear.com has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and a 4.9 Consumer Affairs rating. You can get a free hearing evaluation right now at Hear.com/Kim. That's Hear.com/Kim. Hey, if you know where to look online, you can buy gift cards for just about any store at a discount. You can buy a $20 Target gift card for only $18. But you have to know the gotchas. When you're buying gift cards online, you can go directly to the site. But here's the secret. There are specialty sites that sell gift cards at a discount. But whatever you do, do not Google discount gift cards. You're going to get scammed. Two legitimate sites that sell discounted gift cards are cardcash.com and raise.com. Now, there is a risk that scammers may have access to these numbers. So if you buy any discounted gift card online, be sure that you redeem the amount as soon as possible. And if you have gift cards laying around that you're not using, these sites will buy the unused gift cards too. The sites again, cardcash.com and raise.com. All right, let's see. Chad in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Hi there, Chad.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful. What's going on?
I have a problem that I have a business, and it's an automobile repair shop, and I have an office and some bays, and I have a door, little doorbell, one of those wireless things that goes ding dong whenever somebody opens the door.
Got it.
Now, however, if I'm in the back room or, a car's running or something, I can't hear that. So what I'd like to do is I have a Galaxy S23 and a Samsung watch that I have paired with it. And there are so many different cameras and everything that I've noticed, and I have no idea which one to pick or what I'm looking for. I'd like to put a camera up that just monitors the door, that'll maybe ring my watch and maybe provide video whenever somebody comes in.
Which is nice, right? I mean, that's
Absolutely,
good. So
yeah.
that, and then, maybe you want to store the videos. And if you had another device, you could actually say, you can actually talk to that person if you wanted to from your watch to say, I'll be right there, right?
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
So, so the good news is that all this is really possible, and it's not going to be this major technical nightmare in order to set it all up. We're not talking about stringing cables. We're just talking about putting in one indoor camera that will ring alerts, and it will notify your phone. It'll notify your watch. And so that this way you can get video previews. You can turn off the camera and mic and, do things like that if that's what you wanted to. So, there's a lot of different options out there. But I asked our very own IT genius, John, this question because you sent me an email. And I'm like, hey, John, what would you think would be the best thing for Chad? And he sent me a link to a new Amazon camera and I'll send you a link to it. That is which is a Ring indoor camera, and he said it's going to notify your phone, your watch, and it's very easy to set up too, and it works with Alexa. And so, just what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the link to that, and then if you have any trouble setting this up, Chad, or you need some help, or you're like, well, this is not exactly what I want, because I want you to really look at the specs, but I think this is what you need. And again, it's just a Ring indoor camera, a Ring doorbell indoor camera rather. But I think it's going to be just perfect for whatever you've got going on there with being under the cars and not hearing it and, good things like that. And again, it's like $60. And Chad, thank you for your call. All right, let's see. Susie in Fort Worth, Texas. Hello there, Susie.
Hi, Kim. I'm so excited to speak with you. I've been receiving your newsletters for almost 25 years now. So
wow.
I have a folder in my inbox just for Kim Komando Daily emails that I can use for future reference.
Well, thank you, Susie. That's awfully nice of you.
My favorite memory of Kim Komando of all the emails you sent out was when you were raided by SWAT. When your house was raided by SWAT.
Oh, gosh. That was a nightmare, Susie. Oh, my gosh. Because we were targeted by the Chilean gangs.
It was so awesome.
Yeah. For you, when the SWAT team wasn't coming at your door. Okay.
It wasn't for you, that's right. I would have probably had a heart attack.
So how can I help you?
My question to you is, I have done investing in crowdfunding platforms for many, many, many years. And so when I see something I'm interested in, I continue to invest in it. And I saw something a couple of months ago that I thought was worth looking into, and I received my product, but it requires an app. And when I got ready to download the app, it like just for a split second, there were Chinese characters that came up on the screen. And as soon as I saw them, I immediately deleted everything. But I've contacted them to ask them if they have any connection with China, but I have not heard back from them yet.
Oh, it's hard to it's hard to say why those Chinese characters would be there at the when you first open up the app. Other than maybe it was originally a Chinese-based app and then they changed it to English.
Okay.
You could, if you ever have any questions about an app, what I do is I look at the reviews, whether it's on Google Play or on Apple in the App Store, and look at the ratings and really read the reviews. And be in mind that, and be mindful that some of these may be fake reviews, especially if you see like a whole bunch of really positive reviews in a row. Normally that means that they're fake. And so, but look at the reviews of this particular app, and in Google Play, you might see more than what you'll see on Apple, because with Google Play, it just seems that you get more votes and you get more reviews on Google Play than you do on Apple. I'm not sure that's why. I mean, because we're kind of depending upon the market, depending upon the product. But anytime you have any question about whether or not it's safe to install an app, really, just go ahead and take a look at the reviews on both, on either, actually both. Take a look at the reviews on both Google Play and the Apple App Store and kind of get the lowdown there. You can also just do a Google search for the name of the app and the word review, and you can find some intel that way too. Yeah, crowdfunding is still pretty big. It really is. I mean, you still have all the Kickstarter projects that are going on, but you never really know if you're going to get the product at the end. I mean, that's always the downside when you start getting into crowdfunding. Hey, do you ever get the feeling that something or someone is watching you? The truth is that spy devices could be anywhere, but thanks to technology, cameras have gotten so very small, which makes them so, easy to hide. Now, some of the top spots to check, we're talking about electrical outlets, smoke detectors, but this is nuts. Even TV remotes can have a hidden spy cam. Now, luckily, it is possible to use your phone to spot these creepy cameras. First, what you want to do is open your phone's camera app and then switch to the front-facing camera. Turn off the lights in the room, and then just walk around. What you're looking for are any white flashes. That could be a hidden camera's infrared light. And if it still doesn't feel right, you can go ahead and buy an RF detector. I like the anti-spy detector on Amazon. It sells for around $40. Here's how it works. The tool picks up radio frequency signals from devices like wireless cameras and, say, audio listening devices. Now, one thing, you have to turn off all the electrical devices first. Now, if you do find anything that's hidden, well, what you want to do is call the police, especially if you're in a rental property, because that's what really has caused Airbnb's big downfall, are the creepy hosts and all the hidden cameras. If you need some more steps, just go ahead and go over to komando.com. And don't forget, get my newsletter. You can sign up at getkim.com.